military operating room nurse to wedding planner, business owner to rideshare gig worker. Part 1. All right, y'all. I didn't know anything about Uber when I first learned about Uber. This is when Uber first came out a long time ago. My husband and I went to Orlando and we went to Universal Studios. So on the map, the hotel that we were staying in looked closer to Universal Studios than what it really was. So we didn't get a rental car. We took a taxi from the airport to the hotel, and then we figured, based on what the map looked like, that we could just walk over there or maybe catch, a local shuttle or a bus or something like that. So we didn't know that the hotel didn't have the shuttle because they used to have it before. So anyhow, the lady at the front desk said, go out there on that sign, on that pole out there, look on that pole, and there's a sign that says Uber. She said, call that their number and somebody will come pick you up. I said, the pole outside? She said, yeah. She said, call that number and somebody come get you. So I didn't know anything about Uber at the time. So anyway, so we went outside, called that number, and then this guy showed up in a Cadillac Escalade. Now, at the time, I had a Cadillac Escalade, and I knew how much they cost. So when he pulled up, I asked him, what is Uber and what else do you do? He said that he explained the rideshare business to me, blah, 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 blah. So we had a good little conversation, and then he offered to come back to pick us up. So he came back and picked us up. And then on the way back, when he picked us up, I said, what else do you do? He said, this is it. I said, so you just give rides all day long? And he said, yes. He said, look. So he told me the story about him and his wife brought their kids to Disney World, about a year. I think he said about a year or two at that time, a year or two at the time before. And then they were from New York. They took the kids to Disney World. They loved it so much that they went back to New York. And as soon as they got back to New York, they said they loved Florida, Disney World, Orlando area, that they wanted to move back. They wanted to move to Orlando. So he said that a couple months later, they moved to Orlando. But since they didn't do it properly, they had a hard time, finding a job. So he had learned about this new thing called Uber coming to town. So he signed up in a hoopty. And then over the course of the 2 years, he was able to get an Escalade. He was able to buy a house, and he did not work a 9 to 5. His wife did not work a 9 to 5. And he told us that he did not miss any kids' games, sporting activities, any parent-teacher conferences. He turned that light on when he wanted to. He worked when he wanted to. He worked when he didn't. His Escalade, he was paying for it through Uber money. His house, he was paying through Uber money. So I looked at my husband and I said, I'm getting out the Air Force and I'm quitting and I'm going to do Uber. So he said, no, you're not. And I was like, well, no, I'm not, because I want to get my retirement. I want to get the dental, vision, health. I want all the benefits from the military that I've already worked for. Already been to Iraq. I want what I'm entitled to. So anyhow, so fast forward, I didn't give Uber a second thought. I didn't even know if Lyft existed at the time, but I didn't give Uber a second thought. Came back to Maryland, went back to Joint Base Andrews, and went to work, still doing operating room nursing. Okay. But I was always doing parties and doing events. So then I decided to open up my event decorating business, and I'll tell you how I started that on part 2. All right. See you in a little bit. Bye.